Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another vid. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard the news that Dillian Whyte in the Tyson Fury fight has been ordered by the WBC as a final eliminator. Now, it all goes back to the interview that the Boxing Voice hosted with Mauricio Suleiman, and this interview was conducted yesterday. Mauricio Suleiman has came out and said that for him and his organization to find a resolutions to the Whyte mandatory shot situation. He offered Whyte and Matchroom or Hearn, Hearn, or you can say Dillian Whyte by that matter. He offered Dillian Whyte a final elimination shot with a guaranteed mandatory spot against against Tyson Fury. Initially, what was reported, this is according to Mauricio Suleiman, Mauricio Suleiman said that Whyte and Hearn rejected that. They didn't want that. They didn't want the fight as a final eliminator. But when the Oscar Rivas fight got made, and that was about a couple weeks ago, Dillian Whyte or Eddie Hearn had petitioned the WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, to make that fight as a final eliminator. Now, from the looks of it, since the WBC has ordered the Fury and the Whyte fight as a final eliminator, more likely that request has been rejected. Now, not too long ago, it's like a couple hours ago, Dillian Whyte has came out and said that, you know what, he's pretty much have a change of heart. He said that I will go ahead and accept the WBC's proposal. I'll go ahead and go through the final elimination bout against Tyson Fury. Now, the question is, will Tyson Fury go ahead and take the fight? Now, there are going to be many's going to speculate that he's going to stall this out as long as he can. Shout out to Edge Note, because he pretty much called it when we had spoke offline a couple hours ago, and he pretty much predicted this. He said, look, even if Dillian Whyte accepts it, Tyson Fury might not take the fight, or he's going to stall it. Now, Tyson Fury has not responded to this news yet, but Frank Warren was on hand, and he had his he was able to give his thoughts on about this. I saw this interview on Seconds Out, a brief little clip interview, a brief segment, I should say. Frank Warren was asked about the WBC's decision today. He said, well, you know what? I will tell you this. I haven't spoken to... This is what he said from... This paraphrasing, but not exactly every word from verbatim. He said that, well, you know what? I haven't talked to Tyson yet about this, but what I can tell you is that I've already got 2 fights confirmed for Tyson Fury after the Schwartz fight. So, by that answer by Frank Warren, it's very obvious to me that they're going to stall this fight out. The fight's not going to happen anytime soon after the fact if Whyte gets past Rivas, which he's pretty much expected to do, and Tyson Fury obviously is expected to get past Tom Schwartz. So it looks like Frank Warren and Tyson Fury, or Top Rank, or Frank Warren Promotions, whoever, they're not going to make that Whyte fight anytime soon, because oh boy. And to me, I pretty much, in one sense, I do have sympathy for Dillian in the situation, because he has paid a lot of sanctioning fees. He's fought in several elimination bouts for the WBC. But the thing is that the one thing I would have to say, though, is that he has never fought in a final title eliminator. He had initially said that he has no problem fighting anyone in title eliminator, which include Luis Ortiz, as long as he's guaranteed a mandatory shot. And now this is his opportunity. Initially, he did reject it, but now he said he's going to take it. So again, it's all on Tyson Fury if he wants to take it. But we'll have to see what he says about it. But needless to say, though, I would like to point out that this may be, and I have to admit this, from what's going on, the recent actions by the WBC definitely has to be called into question, because not only did they pull this move, a few days ago, they surprisingly, if not controversially, I should say, somewhat controversially, borderline controversially, announced that the vacant WBC lightweight title will be Luke Campbell, who's rated number 2 or number 1, I believe, by the WBC. He's a number 1 rated challenger by the WBC, who's a matchroom fighter, by the way. He is ordered to fight Vasily Lomachenko, who is arguably the pound-for-pound number 1 fighter in the world, who is the unified lightweight champion. And Lomachenko has never fought in an eliminator or even in a sanctioned fight for the WBC. And he gets a shot off a request by Bob Arum after the fact that Mikey Garcia vacated his belt. So, to me, I don't really fault, I really like the move in a way, in a sense, because I think that other champions should be ranked in other sanctioned bodies to get shots at titles. I really believe that's the only way we can get unification bouts at an accelerated pace, I should say. But what I like to know is that when that fight got announced, I didn't see too much discontent for why Luke Campbell's getting the shaft here. Now, I understand there are some people who may be a little upset about this, but I'm seeing a far more outrage over the Dillian Whyte and the Tyson Fury decision more so than the Luke Campbell and Lomachenko's decision. And why is that? Maybe because Deontay Wilder is the title holder? No, I don't need to go there. But the point is that people are having so much outrage about this situation with Fury and Whyte, which they have a right and they're inclined to do. I like to see them have that outrage over the Lomachenko and Luke Campbell situation. And to be fair, there are some people who are outraged over that decision. But at the same time, I didn't see this much of discontent when that decision got made versus this one. Over this one, only because Deontay Wilder holds that title. Let's be real. Now, I know Lomachenko is pound for pound #1, so I know that's a different case. But the core argument is that he didn't fight in a final title eliminator. He's never fought in a sanctioned fight or an eliminator for the WBC. He's never done it. So I'm just saying. Now, I seen a Main Man video on this. Shout out to Main Man. He also said something. He not only offered his critique, but he also said something a little interesting too about about this whole matter. And let me take that back. He said something interesting about the Anthony Joshua and WBO situation. He mentions the fact that, wait a minute, if people are upset about this decision by the WBC, which they are inclined to do, then why do people aren't upset about the WBO not calling for the Dillian Whyte and AJ fight? Because Dillian Whyte has been ranked #1 by that sanctioned body for over 7 months now? 7 months now they haven't called for that fight. Now, to be fair to Main Man, shout out to Main Man, I'm going to keep it real. Dillian was offered a direct shot at Anthony Joshua, and he turned that fight down for certain reasons. So, but again, he does have a point that why hasn't the WBO yet called for a mandatory bout for AJ and Dillian Whyte? Why haven't they done that? In fact, I could go back to the WBO. I remember the time when the Povetkin fight got made. The WBA was the one that mandated the fight, right? The WBO had one time said that they will not. As I was saying, now the WBO did not mandate the Povetkin and AJ fight. They never did. But when the fight approaching fight night, I should say maybe about 1 week before the fight, the WBO, I think it was 1 week or two, the WBO all of a sudden comes out and mandate the fact that Povetkin mandatory status will be on his #1 ranking, or the mandatory or actually the #1 ranking status will be on the line against AJ. Meaning they've also mandated the fight on the last minute notice. Meaning if he had lost that fight against AJ, which he did, he loses his #1 status in that sanctioned body. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, seriously, when has a sanctioned body ever made a decision like that close on the eve of a fight night? I mean, that's very unusual. Now, I like to point that out there. And the fact that the WBO even called a mandatory after that fight, even though there was not a mandatory announced and there was no final elimination bouts that have taken place. So what kind of shit is that? Now, to be fair, though, they kind of rescinded that because I think of the backlash they got after they made that decision. So the point I'm making is that the WBC, yes, they doing some fucked up shit right here. I get it, but all the sanctioned bodies are corrupt and they're all in bed with somebody. But the fact is that I think the WBC is much worse at it. Let's keep it real. They are. But they do have this stupid provision in their little clause in their bylaws and rules, standards, committee policies, as I say, that they have the right under their discretion to alter the rules if they see fit. Pretty much, that's what they can do. And it's not just them. All the sanctioned bodies can do it. Now, the only sanctioned body that I would give credit to that actually goes by their guidelines is the IBF. Now, we all know why the IBF go strictly by their guidelines, because they were involved in a very, very, very huge bribery scandal that took place back in 2000, where it involved Bob Arum. the top rank. So I don't want to need to get into all that, but that's a lot of details to get into. But anyways, needless to say, I know I'm jabbering on a bit, but the fact is that, look, it may be fucked up in a way that the WBC had came out and made this ruling, but Dillian Whyte did say he will compromise and he would fight in the final time eliminator against whoever they ask him to do, as long as he's guaranteed the mandatory shot, which this is his mandatory shot right here. He is guaranteed the first mandatory if he gets past Tyson Fury, but now Tyson Fury will have to decide whether he takes the fight or not. And according to Frank Warren said he'll talk to Tyson about it, but don't count on that fight happening right after Fury gets past Schwartz, or I should say that Dillian Whyte gets past Oscar Rivas, if they get past those two, which obviously Tyson Fury is expected to get past Schwartz, and Oscar Rivas is a little bit of a different case, so that's a tougher fight than Schwartz fighting Fury. Or, yeah, it is what it is. So anyhow, I would like to say, though, I think I have to agree with some of the uploaders here who may have made the suggestion here. I think there is some type of resentment there. There's some type of bitterness between Mauricio Suleiman and Eddie Hearn. I don't know what Eddie Hearn what did he do to piss off Mauricio Suleiman. I could point out the fact that going back to the Luis Ortiz and then Dillian Whyte situation, where Eddie Hearn was upset about the ruling by the WBC to order that fight as a second mandatory, Eddie Hearn had came out and said, look, Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC will definitely hear from our legal representatives about the situation. And since then, it seems to me that Mauricio Suleiman is trying to stick it to Hearn by ordering the Lomachenko and Luke Campbell fight, knowing that Luke Campbell may not even have a chance in that fight. And to be fair to Luke Campbell, I think he's a much better fighter than Anthony Crawler. I think he posed a better tough challenge than Crawler, even though I don't expect him to win that fight. But many would argue he doesn't have a chance there. That's sticking it to Hearn there. Hearn is obviously pissed off about that. And now this decision with the Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury as a final eliminator, which Tyson Fury is a very, very, very difficult fight. And many people will pick Tyson Fury to humiliate and school Dillian Whyte. So, yeah, it just seems like there's some bitterness there. And hopefully they can get that resolved. But needless to say, let's just pray for the best. Let me know what your thoughts about this, guys. I'm out. Peace. Oh, before I go, I forgot to add, do you think Tyson Fury is going to take this fight, or do you think he's going to back out? Or do you believe that Dillian Whyte is actually going to go through with it as he said he's going to do? Or you think he's going to back out? Let me know what your thoughts about this. And I'm going to make a video about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, because I'm wondering, and I'm trying to figure out how in the hell does she still have a job at the White House as a press secretary? It's a political video, y'all. That's coming. I'm out. Peace.